Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchipreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson, and if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, then you've come to the right place. We have a great show this morning. We're meeting with Barry Falcon, president and co-founder of the ShelfGenie franchise opportunity. And ShelfGenie custom designs, builds, and installs a remarkable glide-out shelving system in any cabinet of your home. And that's coming up in segment 2 of Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we got a great show.
Franchise Interviews. For over 2 years now, Franchise Interviews has been giving you an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship.
Through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising.
And our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisors, franchisees, franchise authors, experts, and attorneys.
And our free franchise newsletter, which is a must-read for anyone looking to buy a franchise.
And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919.
That's 610-905-2919.
Need a business loan? Talk to Diamond Financial Services, the experts in franchise financing nationwide. Whether you're looking to start a franchise, acquire an existing franchise, or expand your territory through opening new locations, Diamond Financial stands by your side start to finish. From pre-qualification to packaging and presenting your application to securing a financial commitment and through the loan closing process, Diamond Financial is there. While you're waiting, thousands of others are making their financial dreams come true. Don't wait any longer. Pre-qualify now by completing a confidential, no-obligation financial analysis. Let's face it, traditional banks just aren't in the business of financing small business. At Diamond Financial, we specialize in securing franchise loans from $100,000 to $3 million and equipment leasing up to $150,000. Let us help you get started. Go to www.franchisefunding.net or call 877-508-2274. That's franchisefunding.net, 877-508-2274.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchipreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson, and if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, you've come to the right place. How you doing today, Don? Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Marty. How about you this week?
Good, good. Another cold one out there again today. I guess that's no surprise, right? It's
right.
Still in the middle of January, but weeks sure go by fast. It seems like we just did last week's show 5 minutes ago, so.
Yeah, weeks do go quick, yeah.
Yeah, which means we're busy, you know, so, so it's been interesting. But as you know, I'm going to Miami next week, so looking forward to a little sun, hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Warm weather.
Meetings and stuff like that. But
change of scenery, it's always nice.
Oh, absolutely. Our last show, Don, we met with Mike Nero, who's the founder of the Naturel franchise opportunity. And Naturel is a revolutionary new green carpet cleaning and upholstery cleaning service. They own patents to this kind of concept. I guess it was created from sea kelp. Very interesting. What were your thoughts on last week's show?
Yeah, he invested a lot of time and money, of course, and not just in franchising, but coming up with this product. I think he patented it, so it'll be interesting to see how he uses that to his advantage as he really looks to go nationwide and carpet cleaning, like what he said, is a real high profit margin business.
Yeah.
And so, it seems like there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, think of all the people that have carpets, I mean, just take your neighborhood, and this is something different, I mean, what's going on in the United States and really in lots of parts of the world is people are becoming more green, that seems to be the hot word, for 2009. And, I mean, to my knowledge, this is one of the first green carpet franchises, or the only green carpet franchise. So what I like about it is, I mean, it gives you an opportunity for the franchisee to actually build rapport with the customer. I mean, I would have a lot of questions if these guys came into my home, and just asking about the product. It's neat because it dries in, I think it was, Mike was saying like a half an hour, Don, where I know you've had your carpets cleaned, we've had our carpets cleaned here, and it typically takes like 5 hours, 6 hours to dry. When you have a baby and you have kids, it's kind of hard. I mean, they play in the carpets all the time, so it's really not convenient. So to use this type of service, I was really impressed. I think they're onto something.
Right. It might be safer and better, and then you're able to walk on it sooner. So offers a lot of advantages.
Absolutely. And just how did he think of this concept? I said sea kelp. I mean, it's just not something you think of. When you say cleaning. It's just. I mean, he must be a real entrepreneur if you think about it. And I think he mentioned that on the show. I think he was pretty much born this way. Like he had that inventor in him.
Mentality.
Yeah. So just very interesting. So we'll keep our eyes on them. If you missed the show from last week, you could simply go to franchiseinterviews.com and listen to our shows by description. And as we mentioned last week, we just relaunched the new Franchise Interviews last week, and we're getting a lot of great feedback on it. I'm really pleased.
The site looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to forward you a lot of the emails that are coming in. From people just saying they love the new site. So. That's always a great feeling. So,
any emails say that they like me?
I haven't received. I actually delete those ones. And the nice comments about me, because we've received those emails, haven't we, before? I always remember the international one, which I did save. Saying Mr. Johnson is funny. And I said, "Geez, it's not the purpose of the show, but it does certainly add to the show."
It was a fluke. Yeah, it was a fluke email.
It was fun, but it's just amazing if you think about it. You bring that up, that we have listeners all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the beauty of what we're doing. That there's people listening right now in Turkey and Australia and New Zealand and all these wonderful places. It's just really incredible how the show has just taken off. So it's very exciting what's happening. So I know we got a great show today, don't we? And over the next several weeks. Yeah,
well, today Barry Falcon, president and co-founder of the ShelfGenie franchise opportunity. So we're excited to hear all about their concept and.
It's a neat concept too, isn't it? I mean, it's something that you and I could definitely use. In our homes, I suspect. I think if our wives are listening, I think they'd probably both be interested, because I think this concept, what it does, Don, is eliminate the clutter.
Right.
From your home.
Yeah, everybody needs more storage space. It gets frustrating sometimes.
It sure
does.
They
kind of have a real answer to that.
Yeah, especially when you have kids. I mean, I know that our lives have changed significantly over the last 15 months. Since we've had the baby. I mean. It just seems like we're running out of space,
Right.
And, every time we go to the supermarket, it's all about him. It's just it's 90% food for the baby, and the other 10% goes to us, But he's really taking up a lot of space. So for a little guy, but it's been something.
It's probably you. You're just blaming your son.
That's true. That's right.
On February 5th, we have Jersey Mike Subs.
Yeah, excited about that.
The end of February, we have Hollywood Tans.
Mm-hmm.
Other shows, so looking forward to the coming weeks. And we always like to tell people, around, at least in this case, the U.S. of upcoming franchise shows. And in Houston, Texas is having a show this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. In Minneapolis, and Minnesota is having a show on February 7th and 8th. That's the Franchise and Business Opportunities Expo. People wanting information on where it is and times can go to usfranchiseexpos, that's with an S.com.
Okay, and that's great to go to the shows too. I mean, and that show is fantastic, Don, because I think it's I don't want to say it's smaller than the International Franchise Expo show, but it gives you that more intimate feel, I think,
Right.
An opportunity to talk face to face with, the franchisors, and I think that's just so important.
Definitely, yeah. There's pros and cons both, but some of those smaller shows are nice.
Right.
Here's something, Nation's Restaurant News. Report predicts slight growth for restaurant franchising in 2009. This is out of Washington, Marty. Restaurants are one of few franchise businesses actually expanding, even if only slightly, during this economic downturn, according to an International Franchise Association Educational Foundation report released just recently. The franchise industry this year is expecting decline as a whole, and that makes sense with the way the economy is, by the number of establishments, jobs, and economic output, but a 1.5% increase in the number of quick-service restaurants and a 1.3% increase in the number of table or full-service restaurants is expected in 2009. The IFA report, the Franchise Business Economic Outlook for 2009, was prepared by PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Good.
But that's interesting. The quick service restaurants,
right? Look at
expanding during
the growth that's going on there. Is really amazing.
Yeah. So here's something through QSR magazine. We're familiar with this company, Raving Brands, not a sinking ship. It says yesterday, parent company Raving Brands unloaded two more of its fast casual brands, making Shane's Rib Shack and Planet Smoothie number 5 and 6 to be cut from the company's portfolio in the last 21 months. It absolutely is not a sinking ship, says Raving Brands president Daryl Dollinger. Of the three brands that we have left, they are in high growth mode. Monkey Joe's with 32 units, Flying Biscuit with 8 units, and Bonehead's Grilled Fish and Peri Peri Chicken with 7 units remain with the company. Despite earlier plans to take the Shane's brand national, they want to do 500 stores by 2010. Raving Brands maintains newly formed Petrus Brands, Inc. is better suited to grow the concept. After the exit of a lot of executives at Raving, LeMaster included, we realized we wanted to focus on some of the smaller concepts like Monkey Joe's. And that's...
what is Monkey Joe's? Do you know that?
Yeah. I've been familiar with them. I haven't really worked with them too much, but it says that they're a children's entertainment concept.
Oh, really?
So...
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of like a Jungle Quest kind of thing, or...
Yeah, I'm not sure specifically.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'd have to have them on the show, or, it's... we'll have to call them up, and just...
right.
Maybe they want to be guests on the show or something, but that's, you hear some of these interesting franchise names sometimes, you say, what is it? It's kind of clever.
Yeah, they're thinking during tougher economic times, there might be more lenders willing to do some non-food type franchises.
Interesting.
It's kind of they're thinking a little bit.
Right. Here's
something from the Associated Press. Pizza Inn cuts royalties that franchisees pay. First time I've seen this article in recent times. Pizza Inn, Inc. is offering to charge new and existing franchisees lower royalty rates to entice more to open the company's buffet-style restaurants amid a credit crunch. The Dallas-based chain said Wednesday it will charge franchisees a 0% royalty for their first year of operation and 2% the second year. The royalty rate for the rest of the franchise agreement will be at Pizza Inn standard 4%. The company said the program is designed to ease startup costs during the first 2 years of a restaurant operation. Pizza Inn also said the rate cut is meant to encourage franchisees hesitant to delve into a new agreement given the tight market for credit to buy or open a new location.
Wow.
The resulting crunch has led restaurant companies to try a variety of strategies to both help existing franchisees caught without access to credit and encourage others to enter the business.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, yet, but I think I imagine you probably think it's a great thing as well. The benefits of competition. I mean, the franchise industry, there's really no such thing as a franchise industry, but all these 80 industries that franchise, it's very intense right now. I think there's about 3,000 different systems out there.
Right.
And, so you have to, you and I are always talking about things like this. It's probably one of the reasons we started the show, to think outside the box, to do something different. And I think this is something different. It captures attention, and I suspect that this story was picked up by a lot of different sources.
It'll be interesting to see if other franchises do this.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I have a few, you'll probably see a lot of other companies out there doing the same thing, saying, you know what, that's a great idea.
Right.
And if it comes between a choice of choosing one franchise versus another, and this franchise is saying, you know what, we're lowering our royalties, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty major too. For the whole first year, no royalties. I mean, it takes a year or two to ramp up the business and to get a cut first couple of years.
Right.
And it says it's Papa John's International, for example, it's offered to provide loans and has offered some royalty rate relief to its franchisees so they can buy more troubled franchise competitors. Besides buffet-style restaurants, the company also operates locations focused only on delivery and carry-out locations and express locations, which are usually located in airports, convenience stores, and college campuses. So it's like Papa John's is starting to do some of that too.
Wow, interesting.
And it says here the buffet-style restaurants are typically the most expensive to operate since they are larger and require the most inventory. Franchisees pay a bigger franchise fee to operate those locations, so maybe that's part of the reason to maybe give a little relief on the royalty fee.
Right. It was interesting. We were talking about, weren't we talking about, was it Denny's last week or
right
2 weeks ago? And they're pretty much, I always remember them, right, buffet style, weren't they?
Right.
I thought they had a buffet anyway, but yeah, no, it's interesting. I didn't know that.
Also, Marty here, this is from the Republican Eagle. Does franchise ownership interest you? It says franchising is often described as a business or industry. It is not. Franchising is a method of doing business. You can become a business owner under a franchise agreement. Now, we've gone over this in the past, the definition. I think our first show we ever did, we talked about the definition of,
we did. I think we described
franchising.
it the same way, yeah.
And this is a basic article, but a good article that we always like to.
And if I could even go deeper, Don, expanding on that article, it's a method of doing business, and I always say, so you get the same result every single time. I think by adding that, the importance of that, saying not to reinvent the wheel. I mean, that's what you're buying in many cases. You're buying a system.
Right.
So don't reinvent the wheel. Trust the system. Follow the system. That's so important. It's not for your true entrepreneur who's just very creative, like the gentleman we had last week. I mean, he probably wouldn't be a good franchisee in the sense of he's a creator, he's an inventor. So I don't think he would do too well in that capacity, but certainly as a franchisor, he'll do well.
And so many of the guests we had on the show, when we asked them the type of person they're looking for, a lot of them have said simply just look for someone to follow the system.
Absolutely.
It goes on here, franchising has been adopted and used by a wide variety of industries and businesses as a means of efficient expansion. Under a franchise system, an individually owned business is operated as though it were part of a large company. The parent company acts as the umbrella organization. This company authorizes the franchise outlets to use its trademark and benefit from the image of a larger organization. Generally, the franchisor or umbrella organization will dictate standard design for business facilities, to specify the use of certain equipment, products, or services, and provide instruction on operating the franchise in accordance with the standards set forth for all franchise operations. While most people think of a franchise as being product or service-oriented, such as the case with fast food, restaurant, or hotel businesses, franchises also are found in the wholesale and manufacturing industries. Franchising offers many advantages to an entrepreneur. As a small business person, you can buy into a well-established venture with a proven formula for success. This offers you significant odds for success when the franchise formula is carefully followed. The franchisor should provide solid advice, often mandates, site selection, management, advertising, accounting, and product research and development to aid the overall franchise organization's success. Greater efficiency and profitability result from uniform coordination. Is the concept of a franchise right for you? To make your business a success, you must be willing to accept the orders, vision, and procedures set forth by the franchisor. Any ideas you have for customizing the proven formula must typically be approved by the franchisor. In a sense, you forego some of the independence you may have sought as an entrepreneur. Of course, the trade-off in autonomy for the support system must be weighed against the increased chances for success. As in any small business, long hours and hard work are required. There are usually long payout period in the business. With many franchises, it's likely to be 3 or more years before you can begin to make money, and that's other than your salary from the business. However, there is not guarantee that you will earn a profit any sooner than if you start a small business on your own rather than going for franchising. Careful, evaluate everything before you make a decision. They have here, people want to get a copy of a pamphlet, The Consumer Guide to Buying a Franchise. You can call the Federal Trade Commission.
Oh, really?
And get some information on franchising and
we have that on our website.
Yeah, and a few of our websites, we have books on franchising and, the best books in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great article, and I'm glad you chose to discuss this today because, we do have so many more listeners than we did, compared to last year. And sometimes you forget, that you have to go back to basics and say, okay, what is this all about? And you mentioned a lot of key words. You said things like independence, I mean, a lot of times people say, I want to go into my own business because I want to work for myself. And, they might think about the franchise alternative. And, that might not be the best choice for them because you don't always have that independence in the world of franchising. I mean, you do have to, as you said, you have to be able to follow rules, and if you don't like following rules, it's not going to work too well. You're going to feel very frustrated. It's a lot of work in the beginning too, isn't it? As you said.
Right.
I mean,
they say here 3-4 years. I mean, many franchisees make money the first year, but that's all part of your due diligence to find out. Speak to the other franchisees. At what point were they profitable? What type of hours they're working. I mean, really the full gamut of everything that you have to do before making a decision.
Right, and this is where the FDD and again we spoke about this a little last week. The FDD comes in real handy because it has a list of all the franchisees in a system, and even a list of franchisees who are not in the system anymore from the last year, I think it is.
Right.
So that's important, and it's important to talk to as many as possible. And it's interesting, I was watching a clip from Joel Labava. You remember Joel? He wrote that fantastic book, and he's a friend to the show. He's been a guest on our show on several occasions.
Right.
But he had a whole thing on YouTube, talking about. I guess he was consulting somebody, and he asked them after they got the FDD. He said, "How many franchisees did you call?" And I think they only called like 2 of them, and the 2 that they called were recommended from the franchise. The franchisor told them to say, okay, call these 2 franchisees, and they'll tell you about their experience. But you don't want to do that. You want to call as many as possible. I mean, Julie Bennett, when she wrote that book, she said call I think she said 60.
Right.
It was a lot. I mean, so the due diligence is very important, and it's a lot of work. But very important topic. I mean, it's so important to get back to the basics of what this actually is. And a franchisor does want somebody to be able to follow the system. I mean, it really is a match. It's a marriage. I mean, these things are so important. I mean, it's got to be a nightmare for a franchisor to have a franchisee that just doesn't follow the system. You know? I mean, so.
And I like how they said it. I mean, it's a trade-off. You're giving up some independence, but you're gaining, everything being set up for you with a higher chance of being successful. So you have to go and think, well, I don't want to do all this stuff, and you might not want to, be as creative and independent. You might want that peace of mind, that safety belt, so to speak, that this is already a proven successful system.
Right. I mean, who wants to? Not everybody wants to reinvent the wheel. I mean, one of the greatest quotes we've had on the show was from that franchisee from Liberty Tax, their most successful franchisee. He says, "I'm not creative." He goes, "I don't want. All I want to do is follow a system. If you give me a system, I can execute it."
Right.
And that's why he became so successful. I mean, he's doing very, very well. But you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to trust and follow that system. It's just really so important. So I'm glad that you spoke about that article, because it's so important for us to always get back to basics.
Definitely, yeah.
So
very important.
Why don't we take a little break here, Don, and we'll be right back with more franchise interviews.
Franchise Interviews. For over 2 years now, Franchise Interviews has been giving you an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship.
Through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising.
And our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisors, franchisees, franchise authors, experts, and attorneys.
And our free franchise newsletter, which is a must-read for anyone looking to buy a franchise.
And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919.
That's 610-905-2919.
Need a business loan? Talk to Diamond Financial Services, the experts in franchise financing nationwide. Whether you're looking to start a franchise, acquire an existing franchise, or expand your territory through opening new locations, Diamond Financial stands by your side start to finish. From pre-qualification to packaging and presenting your application to securing a financial commitment and through the loan closing process, Diamond Financial is there. While you're waiting, thousands of others are making their financial dreams come true. Don't wait any longer. Pre-qualify now by completing a confidential, no-obligation financial analysis. Let's face it, traditional banks just aren't in the business of financing small business. At Diamond Financial, we specialize in securing franchise loans from $100,000 to $3 million and equipment leasing up to $150,000. Let us help you get started. Go to www.franchisefunding.net or call 877-508-2274. That's franchisefunding.net, 877-508-2274.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchipreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson. And if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, then you've come to the right place. And as we were saying, Don, we have a great show this morning. We're meeting with Barry Falcon, who's the president and co-founder of the ShelfGenie franchise opportunity. And ShelfGenie custom designs, builds, and installs a remarkable glide-out shelving system in any cabinet of your home. Hey, Barry, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Marty. How you guys doing?
Good, Barry. Great today. Barry, joining us is my co-host, Don Johnson, and I know, Don, you wanted to say good morning to Barry.
Barry, Happy New Year. We appreciate you coming on the show. How are things going for you today?
Doing great, Don. Could be a little warmer here in Atlanta, but probably not as cold as Chicago.
No, it's not. We're actually, in Pennsylvania, it's really cold here today, Barry. Yeah, it's pretty wicked out there, you know. So Don and I were saying earlier, we're just really looking forward to the springtime. I'm heading down to Miami next week, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Super. That it should be nice down there.
It should be, hopefully. Barry, I was looking at your background. You have a very impressive resume. What were you doing before starting ShelfGenie?
Well, I've been a business consultant for the past 15 years or so, but I was a franchisee in another market, and I started a new franchise, bought a franchise, and built it up for 3 years, and then ended up selling it, and looking for something else to do, and that's when I hooked up with the folks doing shelf conversions, and then we launched ShelfGenie. That's
fantastic. It's great because, I mean, again, you can empathize with the franchisee, so I suspect that helps you a lot, Barry.
It does help me, and so I have two business cards. One says president and co-founder, but the really important one says Chief Z Advocate.
Yeah.
Because I've been a Z, so I'm there to help the Zs be successful. So if they're successful, then we'll be successful.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. So
right, because you know exactly what they're going through, what they're thinking, and everything. It's great to have that experience on both sides of the fence, so to speak, Barry.
Yeah, it's great. It's I can put myself in their shoes, and so I know exactly what they're going through. Whether it's opening day or whether it's their first sales call. Right. I've been there, done that, so I can help them through some of those challenging times.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
When did ShelfGenie franchise the concept? Maybe talk about the history a little bit, please.
Sure. Well, the company is about 9 years old, and it was started as Shelf Conversions based in Richmond, Virginia, and just selling to the local market, and then kind of transitioned a few years ago to the dealer model, selling to dealers that would just kind of pick up the line as a sideline, a handyman business, a decorator, things like that. Allan Young and I got together and said, we had to franchise this business. And so we put together our plans and bought the factory from the previous owners and founders, and put our plans in place at the beginning of 2007 to franchise, and And we started franchising in the middle of '08. And so it's been pretty good. I think we have 52 locations right now around the country. And people like the business because it's home-based and doesn't have a lot of big fixed costs.
Yeah, and I think it's a service that Don and I were saying earlier, Barry, that really probably everyone needs, if you think about it. It's just, the battle for space, in your cabinets is just so important.
Well, I guess looking on the website, Barry, I mean, it's like a wife's dream or just a homeowner's dream to, the type of stuff you do in someone's home for organization, saving space. It looks, very good.
Service.
Well, our target audience are baby boomers and, probably in the 40s and above, 20-year-old married couples, maybe not getting our product, but in late 30s, early 40s, just, find the stuff behind the pantry where the kids keep throwing items, and you don't have to bend down to get that pot that you're looking for all the way in the back.
That's true.
How do you describe the ShelfGenie franchise system to prospects, potential franchise owners, Barry?
Well, one of our big marketing things is that one is it's no fixed cost, and so it's a home-based business, and we handle all the customer service and admin for them. So all they really need to do is market, which we help them, and do in-home sales. We have a fully staffed call center 6 days a week, so regardless of where they place ads in newspapers, magazines, home shows, all the phones ring at our central business support center. And we have a great technology that books appointments for them right online, and they get an electronic message. And so they don't have to worry about the admin side of the business. All they really need to worry about is going out and market and get their name out in the local community and go solve people's problems.
That's fantastic.
And when they're advertising, that toll-free number is to the home office, or are they giving us their own number?
Correct. So when one is we give them trackable phone numbers. So they can see the return on their advertising dollars. We have a national media company that helps us with all of our advertising spends around the country. And the phone numbers ring wherever they are in the local market. They ring at our business support center here in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's great. One of the questions we recently started asking on the show, Barry, is what role has technology played with ShelfGenie? It sounds like it's played a pretty big part.
It's really critical, and Allan and I sat down and said, how is this going to scale? And the only way it scales is using technology. And so we have a web-based business system that our franchisee can log on to wherever he is, wherever he can get internet in the world. So if he's on vacation down with you, Marty, in Florida, he could still be looking at his business, and he has dashboards and metrics, and he has designers that go on sales appointments, and he can see where every job is on the process from the beginning to the end, and what the quotes are and what's going on just by logging on. And he has a web-based calendar, and we set appointments on him based on his availability, and he just goes and runs the appointments after we do the confirmation calls.
That's really amazing.
So technology is really key because that all hooks up with QuickBooks for his financial package. So again, he uses the business support center in lieu of having a full-time admin person, and he doesn't need a full-time admin person. And then how do you pay 0.3 people or 1.2 people, and so this gets all that out of the way, and it makes it real easy for him.
Yeah, it makes their life so much easier. That's fantastic.
Was that all part of your original plan, you and your partner starting up, franchising, having all this technology play a role, or did it kind of develop in the last few years?
No, the technology was part of our business plan because the only way we knew it could scale was to be able to handle that. So it was painful, as you could know, if you go through a technology. We interviewed technology companies. We put our requirements documents together and negotiated, and then we picked the company, and it's been a great relationship. And then we customize their base model to meet our needs in our business. So everything is tracked through a process, and every franchisee can see where their jobs are, all through the process. So technology is critical in this business because there's too many things going on as it scales. It helps with royalties. It helps with people doing accounting that aren't accountants. And so we're trying to make it easy for the franchisee.
Yeah, so it's one of the many benefits of becoming a franchisee with your system, Barry. I mean, to do this on your own would be very, very costly for someone, to start their own, kind of competition to you guys. It would just be very difficult.
It becomes a challenge if they're going to do it on a national level. There's always somebody out of their garage that could do, there's a doctor that just graduated and he could do a surgery less than the guy that's got 20 years experience. But we're on the national level from the East Coast to the West Coast, and it's the only way it scales is put the systems in place. I ran a manufacturing company for 20 years prior to this, and so you have to have the systems in place so it scales, and the franchisees manage by exception and be able to manage their metrics as they see what's going on in the business.
That's great. And the industry, you were saying, it sounds like the main target market, Barry, is baby boomers. So we're talking a pretty big market. Are there any numbers as far as how big your industry is?
Well, we're the pioneer right now in this business. We're the only franchise in this marketplace, and so we're in the primarily retrofit business, and so versus new construction. So while new housing is down, retrofit, people are staying in their house. So there's a pretty big opportunity. Florida, New York, Chicago, where major cities. There's a lot of homes, condos, townhouses that have shelves, and we're going to try to convert all those into drawers.
That's great.
So really, any home is a potential client. I was just going to ask the question: Can a franchisee kind of go after some local builders for business?
He can go after local builders. Our franchisees that are aggressive are going after local builders to do it on new construction, offering it as a upgrade when people are going through the design center. Franchisees are at assisted living homes, which they're prevalent in the southeast and other major metropolitan areas. So where there's seniors living there, the 55 and over retirement community. Those are big target markets for us, where you can go do a complex that has 100 to 300 units. They all have just a small kitchen, but it's still a big complex in one place. So it's the gamut of new construction, retrofits, assisted living, seniors home, offices that have kitchens, entertainment centers. A lot of people have CDs and DVDs, and they just have them thrown in the cabinet. So we put some glide outs in there. We put dividers in there. They stack them up neatly on their side. They can see all the titles. Just kind of pull them right out to them, and it makes their life pretty easy.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of talented people out there. It seems like some of the franchisees, especially during these tougher economic times, probably aren't having a problem finding some help to help with the service part of the business.
No, most of our you're absolutely correct, Don. Most of our franchisees, they're running the business and trying not to be in every detail of the business, and they hire people and train them for design consultations, because one person can't run all the appointments in their area. There's not enough hours in the day. Right. So they get folks out, and they get some other folks that are going to help with installations. So the franchisee's main role is sales and marketing and business development, and he can have some other folks do design appointments as well as do the installation. And so our franchisees from the Bay Area, all the way to Northern Virginia, they're finding folks without any issues.
For a franchisee, I'm sure you push this. I would think this is perfect for them to join some local business groups and Chamber of Commerce, because anybody can be a client.
Sure. One of the things, one of my strategies is only join what you're going to participate in. So, yes, we advocate joining networking groups, joining the Chamber, but join the Chamber, and those are great venues, and then go get involved in it. So people get to know you and like you and trust you, and so you're handing out cards, and yes, you meet a lot of people that way, and it's all about getting referrals. And you get a happy customer, you'll get referrals in that subdivision. So absolutely join those groups, but don't join them just to be on the mailing list. Join them to participate.
Right. That's important.
Seems like, Barry, this was sort of meant to be for you. With your background in manufacturing, a former franchisee, it's almost like a perfect fit.
Well, it's been an interesting. It has been a good fit, and so my partner Allan Young has been on the sales and marketing side most of his career, and I've been on the operations and the business side. And melding us two together works fine. Allan's a little younger than me by about, 17 years, but so I have a little more business experience, but he has great ideas. So together we just kind of divide the lanes and make it happen.
We have over 50 locations. A lot of times, people don't want to invest until they feel comfortable with the people at the top. So imagine you guys doing a good job in that area.
Well, we have Discovery Day, and I think you mentioned, it is a marriage. So people have to get along with Allan and I, basically, because we're leading the company at this point. And so it is part of a relationship. We bring them in for Discovery Day and spend a whole day with them and talk to them, and also learn a little about their background, what their needs are, what they're looking for. And not everybody is a good fit on either side. They might not like us, and we might not like them. But so it's not always a good fit. But sometimes you date a little before you get married. And so we're looking for long-term relationships. So it's a 5-year franchise agreement with renewals, and we're looking to keep that going.
So staying on that topic, as far as it has to be a right fit on both sides, what are the type of characteristics that you look for in a franchisee, Barry?
Well, we look for somebody that has a smile on their face with a little outgoing personality and understands sales and marketing. And so and they have to understand that advertising and marketing is an investment, not an expense. So folks that see that and are either have run businesses before or just understand business and been done in some home sales, just any kind of business experience is really great. We have an extensive training program, but conversely, somebody that came out of being a CPA, maybe not our ideal candidate if they're just looking at expenses and how to cut costs versus how to grow the business. And so we really like to have people that are outgoing, like to deal with people, like to solve people's problems, because you're providing a solution to make their life easy. And believe me, after installation, they're getting hugs, and we get testimonial letters all the time. So you have to like dealing with people. And if you don't, then this is not the position for you or the business for you. If you want to sit in the back of an office someplace and just crunch numbers, then ShelfGenie is not it. But if you like to talk to people and provide solutions and have a variable cost business model where you don't have a lot of fixed cost, then this is a great venue.
It's nice starting out as home-based business, a little less pressure on the franchisee, lower costs, and then maybe have that extra money to throw towards the marketing and advertising. Because you're right, in any business, good times or bad, it's so crucial to stay on the aggressiveness.
Exactly. Well, the issue is if you have a down month, so to speak, or it's at a slower time of the year, you don't have a $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000 rent payment, and you don't have a lot of employees on the payroll, and you don't have all those fixed costs. The fixed costs you do have is your cell phone and your internet access, and so those are required. But other than that, if you want to go on vacation for 2 weeks, you could advertise. Some designers could run appointments that you pay them commission on, and you can collect your money and not even be there.
That's great. What is the training like? You mentioned the training is extensive, Barry. What goes on in training?
7 days at our corporate office. So soup to nuts, from sales and marketing training, business system and business training, role playing, and then of course installation training. And our franchisees go through 2.5 days of installation training, and even if they're not the person that's going to do the installation, because they're not technically for that, they're going to understand how it's done and why things are done, and understand that. So it's kind of like going to a crash course, and for 7 days. It's pretty intense, long days, but we have some fun. And then 30 days after that, we have another 3-day follow-up where we come to them in the field, and that's all about sales and marketing. It's reviewing marketing plans, see how they're doing, how we can help out, assist them with their first home show, if they have a first home show going on in the season. Last weekend, we assisted our franchisee in the South Atlanta area with his home show, and we'll assist our franchisees in Charlotte and Greenville and the Bay Area with their first home show. So we spend another 3 days with them out in the field, 30 to 45 days after they left training. And, of course, they have our cell phone numbers as well as the office phone numbers, so they call a lot with questions.
That's great.
Well, nothing's left uncovered. Really have a real complete handle on full service, training, everything to make sure someone's successful.
Well, we want them to hit the ground running. So when they walk out of training, we want them to be able to go on. They had to do some practice sales appointments, some design appointments in their home and with friends. But instantly, once you start advertising and you turn that switch on, phone calls come in. We're not outbound telemarketers. We're receiving inquiries of people that are answering our phone ads, our ads, and they're calling in. So whether it's direct mail, whether it's newspaper, magazine, networking, people call us and we book appointments, and the franchisee is just ready to go. We provide them with a laptop and a computer and a printer, and they go in the home and they design a solution, print out the proposal right there on the spot.
So a new franchisee goes through training. He's all set to do business. I mean, who? The bottom line, who is their competition? Is it just the local builder, maybe has a niche doing this type of service?
I think everybody has competition. So their competitors are a couple of things. One is, a couple or a husband that says, I'm going to go to Home Depot and I'm going to just get some wood or some wire racks, and I can do this myself. That's
right.
That's possibly one competitor. And then a couple months later, the housewife calls us and says, "Could you remove these wire shelves and put your things in?"
Yeah.
So we take a lot of those out, and so that's one. And another competitor is they just don't do anything. They just say, "You know what? I'm in my kitchen. I'm aggravated every day. I'm really struggling, but maybe I'm going to buy a TV, or maybe I'm just not going to do anything." And so that's another one. And then the last one would be, a low cost person that just says, I could build those in my garage for a lot less money. And the issue is we offer a lifetime warranty on the product, a lifetime warranty on the installation. We're around if there's ever going to be an issue. And so that person that says, I'm just going to build these in my garage, let me measure up some stuff for you, where are they going to be if there's an issue, if something happens? And
right.
We custom make it by the millimeter to fit your needs. We design heights and widths and depths, and we build them, we install them, and we guarantee them. And our warranty phone calls are next to nothing.
That's fantastic. What is a typical day like, Barry, for a ShelfGenie franchisee from, the moment they start their day till the end of the day?
Well, first, I'm sure he's logging onto his business system and looking at his dashboards, just kind of seeing what his appointments are for the day. So if he has design appointments out in the field, he's scheduling in and planning on those. He's also looking for other designers in their field to see what appointments are going on. He's going to look to see where shipments are, where installations are. So he's got a quick dashboard to see what's going on for that day or that week about sales appointments, about shipments, about installations. And then after that, he's probably going out to some appointments or going out to do some networking events or Chamber of Commerce or whatever that might be. But he's not just sitting in his house waiting for the phone to ring. He's out calling on assisted living homes, talking to designers that he has on his staff, motivating them, training, answering questions, and he blocks out his calendar of when he wants some admin time or he wants to go play golf. He just has to manage his calendar and put when he's not available. So in our business support center, we can see when he's not available to book appointments. So if he wants to take off on Friday afternoon and doesn't want to fight any traffic, he just blocks out his calendar from 4 to 7 on Friday afternoons, and we won't book him any appointments then. We don't need to know where he's going or what he's doing. He just needs to keep his calendar up to date, so when phone calls come in, we try to put them all together and give him an efficient day of driving for appointments. So he's got a pretty good day, and it's packed, and like any business owner, your day is what you make of it.
True.
Some part of that day is planning. Some part of that day is doing design appointments, and some part of that day is solving problems.
What advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur looking to buy a franchise, Barry?
Well, since I bought a franchise already once and been an investor in some others, one is I would tell them is find something that you like doing and you'll probably be good at it. And what I mean by that is if you don't like fast food or you don't like dealing with teenagers as employees, don't buy a fast food restaurant. And
right.
So find out what your requirements are, and if you want something that's a 24/7 business, if you want something that's like a business that's not open on weekends, and make the business work with your lifestyle, and kind of put those down on a piece of paper and kind of think about them, and then figure out what business fits your requirements. And when I bought my first business, I had a couple of requirements. I wanted to run while I wasn't there. I didn't want teenage help because I had 3 kids of my own, and I didn't want to deal with teenagers because they just call up and leave you hanging.
Right.
And I didn't want a cash business because that meant I had to be there all the time.
Right.
And so those were my requirements. And so everybody has to look at what they want. And do they want a sales type business, or do they want to sit back and kind of manage from an office? And you want to be on call 24 hours a day. And so I would recommend to anybody is go talk to folks, see why they chose the business that they pick, see what's good for you, and if you have the opportunity, maybe go work in that business for a little while and try it before you buy it.
Interesting and great advice. Has ShelfGenie gone to any of the franchise trade shows, or is that something planned in the future?
Absolutely. We are members of IFA, International Franchise Association, and we've exhibited at the IFA show in Los Angeles. We will exhibit at the IFA show in Washington, D.C. coming up here in the spring, as well as in Atlanta, Georgia. And we also do other franchise shows. So it's a way for us to get the word out there. And our franchisees are also doing home shows around the country, and people then also ask about the franchise opportunity at that point. So we're pretty active out in the areas, and definitely with IFA, it's a great organization.
Good. Tomorrow night we'll see you in D.C.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to come over and shake your hand, take a picture.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to do that.
That's fantastic.
What are ShelfGenie's plans for the future, Barry?
Well, just realistically, national expansion and new products. So right now, we're looking for some active franchisees in the Northeast. It's a big market. We're pretty active in Chicago, in the Bay Area. We're opening up Los Angeles right now in the next few weeks as a company-owned location. We have a few company-owned locations, and so our plans are to just grow in 2009, despite what everybody thinks is going on in the economy, and then give our franchisees more tools to have them be more successful.
How many locations do you think you can have eventually? I mean, how many territories throughout the U.S.?
We're not going to be like Subway and have thousands and thousands, but we can definitely have a few. We can definitely have 300 or 400.
Interesting.
Yeah, you've guys got some pretty good PR too, haven't you, Barry? I know you guys were nominated for some awards. There were some nice distinctions for ShelfGenie.
Yeah, we've been nominated for the National Association of Professional Organizers in Los Angeles, and so that's like a big. It's the big to-do about organizing awards, and we're the finalist in a couple of categories. Best home-based organizer products, and that awards banquet is next Friday in Los Angeles, and I'll be attending that.
That's great. Good luck with that. That'll be fantastic.
You'll
have to call in if you guys win. Yeah, that'll be
right. Exactly. So that will be. We're looking forward to it, and it's really just an honor to be a finalist in the awards, and so we're excited, and we get some good PR out there because we have some good franchisees as well as happy customers.
And I saw the article in the Richmond Times-Dispatch just recently.
Sure. Right. Our new franchisee Matt Ferguson purchased the Richmond area, and Richmond Times-Dispatch did a full article on Matt and his wife Beverly.
Right.
And he's a home builder, and so he bought this franchise to add to his business, and he's real excited about it. So matter of fact, just finished 7 days of training. So he's running sales appointments already this week.
That's exciting. Barry, what's the best way for our listeners to get more information on your franchise opportunity?
Well, I guess of course a lot of the stuff is on the website, but you could also call. You could call our office. It's ShelfGenie. It's shelfgenie.com. And or you can call our main office here, and we can take care of you. So let me give you that.
Go ahead and give the number.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and give the number too. Yeah.
Right. The toll-free number for anybody to call our office and find out more about it is 877-814-3643.
That's fantastic. And I want to thank you again, Barry. Yeah, you've been a fantastic guest. We'll actually post it up on our website as well.
Super. Well, Marty, Don, I enjoyed talking with you and all the listening audience, and enjoy your trip down to Florida.
Thanks a lot, Barry, and good luck at the award ceremony.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We'll keep you
Barry.
posted.
Take care.
Okay. Great show.
Bye-bye.
Don?
Yeah.
Great opportunity, you know. It's again, I love that it's home based, and just it's very enthusiastic. You know, I was excited after I listened to that show. I said, "Wow, the market is huge," and
well, niche business. They give a lifetime warranty. Really look like they take care of their franchisees, and I wouldn't be surprised at a couple hundred more in the next couple of years.
No, absolutely. I mean, we're going to have to, watch them. I suspect we're going to have a lot of growth over the next couple of years. And, it's funny, as he was talking about those guys who go to Home Depot, I'm one of them who kind of say, I could do this myself, and then I screw it up. And
your wife gets mad at you, and you wish you would have
exactly.
called ShelfGenie.
It just doesn't work, It just sounds so much easier than it really is, so it's so much worth it to just deal with experts, I think I've learned my lesson on many occasions now, so... so again, we don't have a show next week, but the following week we'll be meeting with the Jersey Mikes, right?
Right. That's
so we're going to have to bring
February
our appetite.
5th, right.
Yeah, and my wife actually, I think I told you this, she grew up on Jersey Mikes.
Wow.
Yeah, they were in Aberdeen, and I don't know if they're still there, but they started off in Point Pleasant, which is a magical place for you, I know.
Location, and I've on the financing end, I've been working with them for a while. So looking forward to that show.
That's fantastic. So you did a great job, Don. And
thank you.
Again, for our listeners, go to franchiseinterviews.com, go to the new gofranchise.com, franchisefunding.net, and we'll see everyone in a couple weeks.
Have a good day, Marty.
You too, Don. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.